Welcome back to another episode of The Hook by Adventures in Americana. I'm Christine Davis, and my guest today is Cody Diekhoff. He performs under the name Chicago Farmer, a nod to the two worlds that shaped him. Diekhoff is set to release his fifth studio album, Homeaid, on March 6th. Homeaid encompasses the signature blend of folk and roots, Americana, and country rock that Chicago Farmer is known for, combined with lyrics that describe the pull of where we come from, the ache of being away, and how time and circumstance can take us to a point of no return. Cody, thank you so much for being here today.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
The start with the title of the album. It's spelled Homeaid, which feels like a play on the word homemade, as in made by hand, or maybe even band-aid, comfort, repair, care. What does homemade mean to you?
Yeah, I think the songs definitely portray the little bit of kind of hanging on. I think we're all kind of hanging on, and we had the song called Homeaid, the title track, and for some reason I'm always trying to do a play on words, so it's just nothing's normal. And so I thought I'd have a little fun with that. And actually some of the songs also involve my grandparents and my grandma. She's 97. My grandfather just passed away, just shy of 102, and the nursing homes and care was just so expensive. So now my grandma's living a month with my mom, and then she goes and lives a month with my aunt. And so my aunt and my mom are kind of homemaids now as well, and taking care of grandma since grandpa's gone. And so I don't know, it kind of just tied into the whole thing, things that are happening in our country and things that are happening in my family right now. It seemed like a good fit.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Oh yeah, well, it's been a little bit, but yeah, my grandfather lived in the same farmhouse pretty much his whole life, except for the last year or so of his life. And my grandma went to live in the nursing home with him. She was perfectly healthy and sharp as a tack, but that's just the way she was. She went to live with him and live out the rest of his days. So, but she's well, and we got still have him in our spirits and hearts and songs too.
That's wonderful. Were you quite close growing up with your grandparents?
Yeah, it was a town of 1,700 people, and my dad was amazing, but he was gone quite a bit. My mom was a teacher, and so yeah, my grandparents would even live with them for a little while when we moved back to town. And I would go up to the little diner in town with my grandpa. He'd drink coffee, and I'd have a Coke, and we'd hang out with the farmers and the rest of the grandkids. He was definitely a storyteller, which I've definitely taken that from him. But yeah, we were definitely close.
So, listening to the album, I was struck by how many of the stories end in loss and complication rather than triumph. Do you find yourself drawn to those kinds of stories?
Yeah, I definitely, when I first started writing, I remember my mom was a teacher, and I would have to go to school with her kind of early. And when I was younger, and I remember there was this one woman who she had lost her husband, and she was a custodian at the school. And then during lunch she'd be serving lunch in the cafeteria, and then after baseball practice I'd go home, and she'd be at the grocery store, working at the grocery store. Then on Sundays she would be working at the Legion Hall, and she just never stopped working. And I know she had a lot of loss, and she kind of became one of my first characters. And for some reason, she still kind of pops into my head when I'm writing these songs, and so do characters like her. I don't know why, I'm just drawn to them. Uh, but I guess I am. Yeah, I try to have, in all my albums, I try to have a little bit of hope laced throughout in the songs and the stories. But I don't know, since the pandemic, the world has changed so much, and I kind of have a lot of humor in the history of my songs. I have songs about overpriced beers and skateboarding and silly things, and people surfing on Lake Michigan. But it's gotten a little more serious in the last 6-7 years, it feels like, and I think it's come through in the writing.
In the song Peshtigo, you referenced the 1871 Peshtigo, Wisconsin fire that took 800 lives and obliterated the town and surrounding area. What was it about that story that captivated you?
There was a lot of like history of fire happening at the time I was writing that. We had lost a little local place called the Green Gables. There were fires happening out west, and so I really started just kind of researching fires and forest fires. And I came across the Peshtigo fire, and I had no idea. I had never even heard of it. I had remembered going to the UP and driving by a town called Peshtigo. Um, and then I learned about it and I realized it was the same day as the Chicago fire, which kind of stole all the attention and stole all the publicity, even though the Peshtigo fire was way more horrific. And so, kind of like the downtrodden characters, I wanted to shine a little light on this fire that most people didn't even know about. And plus, it'd be a little cliche if Chicago Farmer wrote a song about Chicago fire. So there you go. I mixed it up and eased the tensions with our friends to the north in Wisconsin.
The track Tina Hart's Mustang focuses on a car that kind of embodies the essence or the pride of the town. Tina falls on hard times, ends up selling the car to the town rich kid. He repaints it, but it doesn't run the same anymore. Tell me about the story behind that song.
Yeah, I didn't have a story song like really for this album, which I typically do. And if I ever need one, I just go to my hometown and start driving around, start reminiscing, and pretty soon the ideas come. And I started thinking about the cars that I owned in high school, and I wasn't getting anywhere with those. So I started thinking about this other people's cars, and there was a girl named Tina Hart. She had an '85 Mustang, and it was kind of the talk of town. And I kind of just started like in my mind going back through my yearbook of like people. There's only like 30 of us in my graduating class. They're pretty easy to remember. And the story just kind of started developing as I was driving around and thinking about that. And in my town, we have this in the town, we don't have any stoplights, but we have a four-way stop right in the middle of the town. And there's these four benches. And we were in high school. We used to just hang out on those four benches. And you would wait for somebody to pick you up and you'd ride around with them and then they'd bring you back. And you'd get in with somebody else and go ride around with them. So that was kind of a fun little reunion in my head as I was writing that one, thinking about the country cruises and Tina Hart's Mustang. And she was an amazing driver. It was an okay car, but really, she was an amazing driver. She could hold her own with anybody.
Is Tina Hart still around? Have you
She
connected
is, yeah.
there?
I kind of thought about changing her name at some point, but I was like, it's too good. Tina Hart, that's kind of tough
It's a
to beat.
great name. It's a great
Yeah,
name.
like she approved, so that's good.
So you talked a little bit about this already, but your last full album, Flyover Country, came out in 2020. Obviously, we've lived through a lot of instability since then. What
Yeah.
has shifted for you as a writer and musician in that time?
The main thing is I have a band of my own now. When at that time when we recorded it in 2019, I flew down with a buddy and we recorded with the band of Heathens in Austin, Texas, and that was an amazing experience. And but now I guess you could say I have a band of heathens of my own. Chicago Farmer and the Field Notes. And after being a folk singer for so long and just kind of occasionally playing music with other people, to have a band that's with me full time now, it's really helped the songs and it's helped the performances and it's kind of helped me take things into a different direction. The songs and the stories are still kind of the main focus, but this band is it's a whole lot of fun. It's cool to have people to lean on, and it brings out a whole nother energy that I never really thought was possible. And so, I'm still a folk singer at heart and on my tax returns, but on stage, I get to rock out with the band sometimes. And when it's all working, it's a pretty special thing.
Do you feel a sense of responsibility to react to the state of the world in your work?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's what a folk singer does. It's been more difficult, I think, in the last few years. I've kind of struggled with it. I mean, I'll just write about anything, whatever comes to mind and whatever inspires me. And I can't stand the shut up and sing crowd. I'll never get down with that. But at the same time, I feel like also for me, like music is therapy and and an escape. And like sometimes I'm just love to get away for like 3 hours and not hear anything about politics and not hear these same names that we hear all the time. Uh, and it's nice to get away, but for me personally in my job, I can't avoid it. I have to write about it, have to express it, and have to speak out about it. So that's just in my inner core. So that's what I'll do.
Which song off the album feels most representative of where you are right now as an artist?
Um, you know, my songs back in the day used to just kind of roll on. They were like a little train that left the station, and then they would pick up steam, and then they would slow down and go back into the station. There's a song called Great River Road on here, which also has characters, but it also has like a bridge and a chorus and a little bit of a hook, and I'm still telling a story, but I'm kind of digging a little deeper with the characters and feelings of growing and getting older and getting more grays. And so, yeah, I think that one probably is shows some growth and being an artist and a songwriter. I've always written about family and situations, but I've been trying to dig a little deeper into the well of really expressing feelings on family and roots and where I come from and the hardships of life. You know, I've lost my dad. I've lost, you know, three of my grandparents, and I'm just kind of at that age now where that's happening to me, a lot of my friends, and it's a difficult thing to tackle. But if we're all talking about it together and sharing our experiences, I think it'll help.
The album includes a cover of the song Sorry You're Sick by the late singer songwriter and blues artist Ted Hawkins. What drew you to that song?
The pandemic, I hate going back to it, but that's really what it was. I had heard that song before, years before, and we were just in the van one day where the band comes up with a lot of our ideas, and that song came on somehow, and it felt like the perfect pandemic song, and we just started playing it, and we couldn't stop. And that was just me and one other guy in the band, and then we added a third person, and then when the whole band tackled it, it kind of turned into this whole other thing, and it just kind of such an amazing song that I've heard other people cover it. I don't think anybody will ever capture the original that Ted Hawkins did, but we kind of tackle it in our own way, and we kind of have this little Allman Brothers harmony between the guitar and the organ happening, and it's just it's such a fun song to not only belt out and scream, but also a song that we just love to play, and it's kind of got our signature sound around his song, which is cool, and just the whole purpose of the song and the meaning of it seemed like it fit with the rest of the songs too. So, but I think that one's more just kind of like a fan favorite at the shows too. So we had to throw it out there.
Coming back to the title track, Homeaid, which deals with loving the music but missing home while out touring. Do you enjoy touring? What do you miss most when you're on the road?
It's so funny because when I'm in my small town, so I miss my small town. When I'm home, I miss touring. When I'm on the road, I miss home. It's just kind of that the way that works. But I right now we just did some solo shows down south, but I haven't been on the band with the band in like 2 months, so I'm definitely missing it. And we're all in it together, and so yeah, I can't wait to get back on the. Um, we're mostly doing like 3 or 4 nights a week these days. Um, Last year we did like a whole tour out to Seattle and back in the van, and we don't have plans to do that anytime soon, and I'm okay with that. But I do love touring. I love playing gigs. I love meeting people, and I miss driving the back roads and the main runs too.
What do you hope listeners will take with them while listening to the album?
I think it's the first time where we really sonically, I think it's right. There's been some albums where it's just me and and sometimes that works too. But I think there's really like some really, I think it's an interesting album from start to finish. There's really cool parts. I don't think any of the 9 songs sound the same, which is something I'm really proud of. That's something I really tried to do with this record. I don't think any of them sound the same. And we've got long songs that have 10 verses and no choruses. We've got songs in minor keys. We've got waltzes. We've got rockers. We've got folk. We've got kind of folk rock. We've got a ballad. We've got a little bit of soul in there. So I kind of took from the well of all of my different influences and put them in there without still making each song sound the same. I think each song's unique, but fit together, it works as a whole too, which I'm pretty proud of. Sorry, I keep looking over here because I have it. So
There you go. Yeah.
Like what songs are on here again? Now I have it right here.
Tell us about the artwork while you're holding it up.
Yeah, I don't know where this house actually is. The artist wouldn't tell me. Maybe he'll reveal that someday. And it's called Haphazard Press. It's here in Bloomington, Illinois. They do all our tour posters and T-shirts, but they really just took it and ran with it. And I love the propane tank on the back, and kind of the reference to the Pesh to Go and the mile marker 25 fire. So it's been a lot of fun to collaborate with these local artists, not only to put out the music, but put out the art too. It's kind of been a fun collaboration.
Chicago Farmer's new album, Homeaid, comes out Friday, March 6th, wherever you get your music. Check out his website, chicagofarmer.com, for info about the album and tour dates throughout the Midwest, also starting on March 6th. This is The Hook by Adventures in Americana. I'm Christine Davis. Thank you so much for joining me today, Cody.
Thank you so much.